Sir, I discovered something. His voice shook through the receiver. Come to my studio. Don't mention this to your wife yet. You need to see it yourself. I remember the dead air that followed. It wasn't fear. It was recognition. Somewhere beneath all the denial, I'd sensed the fracture long before. I'd just been too proud to admit it. When I arrived, he said nothing. He simply opened his laptop, clicked a folder, and let the truth spill out one frame at a time. Our wedding, the dancing, the jokes, the glittering lights. But in the corner of the screen, behind the soft shimmer of fairy bulbs, my wife's hand wasn't holding mine. It rested on his shoulder. His palm was at her waist. My best friend, my best man. They weren't merely smiling. They were gazing at each other like the two of them were the ones exchanging vows, and we were the uninvited guests. And with that, every illusion collapsed. We had crossed paths 5 years earlier. She was a graphic designer, gentle storms and quiet brilliance. A woman who made you believe peace could pulse like a heartbeat. I was building my company, pulling all-nighters, chasing stability. She brought calm to that chaos, or so I let myself believe. The betrayal didn't strike overnight. It drifted in soft, subtle, patient. She stopped asking about my day, started keeping her phone face down, laughed at messages she never explained. I told myself she was exhausted, that I was imagining things, that marriage was simply dust settling. Then came the late-night work calls, the unfamiliar perfume, the vacant look during dinner. I noticed every sign and said nothing, because sometimes silence isn't surrender. It's the blade you're still honing. The photographer handed me a flash drive. I wasn't sure whether to show you this, he murmured. But you had a right to know. Had a right. The phrase cut deeper than he realized. That night, I sat alone replaying the footage, until the lie was too complete to overlook. I didn't smash anything. I didn't shout. I simply opened a notebook and began writing dates, names, connections. Revenge isn't fury. It's arithmetic. I knew they'd keep meeting. They always do. People who cheat mistake secrecy for cleverness. So I let them. I stopped asking where she'd been, stopped coming home early, smiled more. She thought remorse made her softer, more loving. She didn't realize I'd already begun dismantling the ground beneath her. I started with money. Every shared asset, the house, the accounts, the investments, quietly shifted back into my control. Legal loopholes reward those who plan ahead. I had our marriage paperwork reviewed for tax reasons. She signed without glancing. Trust is the most lethal form of blindness. Then there was my best friend, the man who toasted to our union, while still tasting betrayal on his tongue. He worked under a client contract I managed. I didn't confront him. I merely rerouted the project clause by clause until his firm bled dry. By the time he realized the agreements were void, and his name had been quietly marked in compliance databases, he chalked it up to misfortune. I called it balanced poetry. 3 months later, their affair sagged under its own weight. She turned irritable. He was jobless. I watched them unravel from afar, like partners in a botched robbery turning on each other. I waited. One evening, I left an envelope on the dining table. No letter, just photographs. Wedding day, hotel lobby. Her smile frozen mid-lie. When she got home, she saw the pictures before she saw me. Her face drained of color. Where did you get these? I didn't respond. I poured 2 glasses of wine, set one before her, and said, "Funny how images stay honest when people don't." She broke down, reaching for excuses, for mercy, but I was already past emotion. "I filed the papers," I told her. "You'll get them tomorrow. Everything's already arranged." Through tears, she whispered, "You're ruining my life." "No," I said, standing. "I'm just giving it back to its rightful owner." By morning, she was gone, moved out without a sound. I didn't chase her, never needed to. A week later, mutual friends murmured about her sudden money problems, about her lover's business collapsing, about her struggling to find work because her reputation traveled faster than she could. I never confirmed a thing, never denied it either. Revenge doesn't always draw blood. Sometimes silence does the strangling. 6 months later, the photographer called again. He said he'd given up wedding jobs entirely, that my story had changed the way he viewed people. "Are you doing better now?" he asked. I looked out at the city, the same skyline that watched me fall, and watched me rebuild. "I'm more than better," I said. "I'm clean, because there's a strange kind of peace in closure, not the kind born from forgiveness, but the one you construct out of the ashes."